Hi, Haley. I just watched your post about Ward versus Wilbanks, and I did I did the same topic as you. So I wanted to watch yours to see what you had to say. So I do have a question because when I was reading about the court case, I I read that she did offer to give counseling services, and that if anything was brought up regarding a same-sex relationship, she would then refer the client. Um, so after I watched your video, you said she refused to give service. I did find some articles that said, you know, um, a student in her practicum refused services, counseling services, based on her religious beliefs of same sex. So I was just wondering if when you were researching the case, if you came across that as well, because I found it a little interesting that that specific websites were kind of giving different information. I noticed it was a little misleading, and I definitely could tell based on the title which way the story was gonna go. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting because yeah, initially I read that she was looking over the files and that she noticed a same-sex person that was having issues in a same-sex relationship, excuse me, was seeking help. And so I know I read that she gave those two options, that should she just not see them or should she see them and then refer out. And then I believe her supervisor just kind of referred the client and kind of escalated it from there. And then I also read that she felt like she had been discriminated against during her time at the school because she was openly, her religion, she was so, I don't want to say pushy about it, but she made it aware. And I think a lot of the teachers there were not of the same religion, and they kind of disliked her behavior about how she acted towards hers. I do like your "not my life, not my decision" motto. I think that's great for going into counseling, and I do agree that if that woman that got expelled, if she chose to go into counseling, she should have known that she would come in contact with all kinds of people from all walks of the earth. And now there are specific instances where she could go into, spiritual counseling or faith-based counseling, and she could do it through a church. But while you're in school, you have to follow the ethical codes and guidelines, and I feel like she technically didn't violate it, but she also didn't approach it the way a future counselor should. And then it was interesting also because I was reading, let me find it, I just pulled it up. It's by Burkholder David Hall, and they were talking about, it was a group of counselors, educators, counselors in education, so professors and teachers, and what they were saying about it. And there were a lot of mixed feelings on the topic, which I kind of go back and forth too, because I feel like, yes, she has a right to say if something makes her uncomfortable. And she wasn't technically a counselor yet, she was in school. But then I also understand where to become a counselor, you have to interact with people and be accepting of people and not pass judgment on them. So anyway, great post. You really had me wondering about my post and then researching because I wanted to know what was going on, because I then saw, like I said, that people were saying she did refuse and then others saying she didn't refuse, that she did offer service. So, okay, that's my response. Bye.